Whether you've ever thought about it or not, you do have an evening routine. I mean, stop and think about, what do you do between 5 and 9? What do you do between 9 and 11 if you're up that late? Are you doing a whole lot of nothing? Are you pouring a glass of wine and then that turns into a half a bottle and then that turns into the whole bottle? I mean, that's a routine. Are you scrolling through social media for 4 hours? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? I should have gone to bed hours ago. That's a routine. Eating at 9 o'clock. That's a routine. Leaving all the dishes in the sink and hoping that somehow when you wake up tomorrow morning, they're not going to be there. They're going to be magically washed and put away. That's a routine. There's research as to why settling in to a very simple evening routine, even if these 4 steps just take you 10 minutes, and that's probably all it's going to take you. Research from the American Academy of Sleep Medicine says if you create even just a 10-minute evening routine, it does help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep. Why? Because having the rhythm of this rock-solid evening routine works with your circadian rhythm. It signals to your mind and your body that you're ready to go to sleep. So there is this added benefit. And before I walk you through the 4 steps, I want you to know how easy this is. It's dead easy. Because by the time you're ready to do these 4 things, you've already done the hard stuff today. You've already gone to work. You've already gone to school. You've already done all kinds of things on your to-do list. You've already done so much stuff. And as you move through these 4 simple things, it's not going to take really any brain power at all. This is the foundational piece that most people miss. And once you do it once, you don't have to do it again. And as I explain this foundational piece that everybody misses, you're going to literally go, well, this is super obvious, Mel. But as I unpack it, you'll be like, oh, this is not so obvious. And no wonder everybody misses a step. Here is the step that will help you not only have a relaxing, blissful, amazing, productive, restorative evening tonight, but it will also help you make tomorrow morning fabulous. You ready? Foundational step. Pick your bedtime. I'm going to say it again. Pick your bedtime. I know. Sounds stupid. But this really, really works. Because if you were picking your bedtime, which I know you're not, you wouldn't be up at 11 o'clock at night wishing that you had gone to bed earlier because you would know your bedtime. So what time do you need to be asleep in order to get 8 hours of sleep every night? That's how we're going to work around this question. Pick your bedtime. And here's the thing. When I say pick your bedtime, you probably went, oh, my bedtime should be 10. Not so fast. This is actually a very complicated question. And I'm going to explain why. In order to determine what time you need to be asleep, you have to know what time you need to wake up. This is where you are sabotaging yourself. This is where you're shooting yourself in the foot. This is where your days and your evenings go off the rails because you don't even know what time you truly need to wake up and get out of bed in order to set yourself up for success tomorrow morning. And figuring this out changed my life because I was the kind of person that used to think, I can just roll out of bed at 7 a.m. and I can do my entire morning routine, which involves making my bed, getting the exercise in, getting journaling done, making breakfast, walking the dogs, getting the kids out the door. Does this sound familiar? Oh, and I can do it all in about 15 minutes. Sounds like a lot of fake math, right? My daughters call it girl math. Christopher, my husband, calls it Mel time. And so here I would be going like, oh, I can just wake up at 7 o'clock and do 150,000 things. And the alarm would go off. And as soon as I woke up and I got up, I was already behind the ball. I don't have time to do any of this. Exercise out the window. Dogs don't get a walk. I don't have time for journaling. And so I need you to be honest with yourself. What time do you need to wake up for real in order to be able to do all the things that you need to do in the morning to truly start your day off on the right foot? And if you're being honest about what you really need to set yourself up, I bet that the time that you need to wake up is probably half an hour or an hour earlier than you are currently waking up. So for me, waking up at 7 a.m. is what I felt like doing. It's what I thought I could do, but it's not what I needed to do. And what I've come to realize is that when I really think about what I need to do in the morning for myself to set myself up to have a great day, I need to get up and out of bed between 5:45 and 6:15 if I want to have enough time in the morning to do what I need to do. And if you're not even honest with yourself about what time you need to get up to give yourself the runway that you need of time, then before you've even laid your head on the pillow tonight, you've already just screwed up your morning routine. So when I ask you the question, pick your bedtime, what I'm actually saying is not when do you need to fall asleep? I'm saying when do you need to climb into your bed? And I'm going to keep on breaking the math down. Here's how you're going to do it. You're going to start by picking the time that you need to wake up, using real time, not fake time, the time that you need to give yourself the runway, the time that would really allow you to do everything that you would like to do. And I want you to really just think about that for a second. If you were to just imagine the time that you need to wake up and get out of bed so that you had all the time that you need tomorrow morning to do everything that makes you feel like $1,000,000, that makes you feel set up for success and taken care of, what time would that be? Do you have that time in mind? Great. So for me, I have to be out of bed by 6 a.m. And I know it sounds pretty early, but it is what it is. And then once you have that time, and I'm just going to use 6 a.m., you got to roll the clock back 8 hours. So you get 8 hours of sleep. And I realize I'm talking to you like a toddler, but it is what it is. And everybody misses this part. And that takes me to 10 p.m. And that's not your bedtime, by the way. 10 p.m. is when you need to be asleep by. So if you need to be asleep by 10 p.m., now let's get to answering the real question. When are you actually climbing into bed? I don't know. I can't answer that for you. How long does it take you to fall asleep? Are you the kind of person that can basically send a text at 9:35 p.m. and you're asleep at 9:37? Or are you the kind of person that needs to get in that bed at 9 because it takes you an hour of reading a book or laying there or meditating or whatever it is that you need to do in order to drift off to sleep? So when I say to you, pick a bedtime, I'm not talking about when you feel like going to bed. I'm not talking about when you need to fall asleep. I'm talking about when do you need to crawl in between those sheets and start that wind down process. And that is personal to you. My husband, for example, that man, literally, as he is laying his head on the pillow, I think the man is snoring and sawing logs right as his head is hitting the pillow. That's how fast the man falls asleep. For me, it takes somewhere between 5 and 25 minutes to go from climbing into bed and getting all settled in and getting my book out. There are some nights I'm so tired, I can barely read. I turn off the light, I go to sleep. There are other nights I read a little bit longer. And so what does this mean? This means that in order for me to be out of bed by 6 a.m. and get the sleep that I need and that you need too, it means my bedtime is not 10 p.m. My bedtime is somewhere between 9:15 and 9:30. And the reason why I'm getting granular and maybe a little irritating is because if you don't get this right, if you don't pick the right bedtime for crawling into your sheets, you will never actually be able to build a rock solid evening routine. Because everything that I'm about to explain to you now builds to this point. Falling asleep is critical to you getting great sleep. And understanding what it takes to fall asleep and then giving yourself that amount of time and building an evening routine that leads up to that and builds momentum to it, that's essential. And there's more research here. This comes from Dr. Rebecca Robbins. She's a scientist at Harvard Medical School in the Division of Sleep Medicine and Circadian Rhythm Disorders. Her research shows that by having a consistent bedtime, for me, 9:15, and a consistent wake-up time, for me, 6 a.m., will help you get better sleep. And it will also help you fall asleep faster. And this is so important from the standpoint of training your brain to help you be a better sleeper. And being a better sleeper helps you have a better morning and a better life. So picking a bedtime when you crawl in between the sheets that truly supports you, critical, element, foundational to your rock solid evening routine and to setting yourself up for an amazing morning too. All right. Now that you know when you need to be climbing into the sheets and when your body needs to be in that bed, 9:15 for me, that's my target. Now you are ready to talk about the 4 super easy steps that you will take every single night to make the night amazing and tomorrow morning fabulous. And step 1, clean up the mess so your morning is fresh. What does that mean? Well, let me bring in a visual that's disgusting, okay? You ready for step one? Just imagine a toilet bowl. Seriously, you're in the bathroom, you're sitting on the toilet. As soon as you're done doing your business in the bathroom, what do? Well, you stand up, you turn around, you flush the toilet. Of course you flush the toilet. Why do you flush the toilet? I'll tell you why. Because you don't want to leave that mess in there for someone else or for yourself when you come back in. I mean, that would be disgusting. You clean up the mess so the bowl is fresh. You want to do the same thing every evening. You want to clean up today's mess so tomorrow morning is fresh. And we are literally going to, in step one, flush the day down the toilet so that when you wake up tomorrow morning, you don't have a mess waiting for you to clean up. And so I'm going to give you a list of the things that you can do so you can wake up fresh. And it doesn't take long. I mean, I'm talking 5 minutes. And that's what I love about this evening routine. It is so easy. It takes almost no time. What are you going to do to clean up the mess? Simple. Empty the dish. Load the dishwasher, take out the trash, clean off the counters. If you have kids or a roommate or a really sloppy partner where their stuff is all over the place, create those little piles that we create, put them at the staircase or outside their door so that they can take them up in the morning. Just get them out of your line of sight, turn off the lights, charge your computer, clean up the things from today, create a fresh start for yourself tomorrow because you don't want to saddle yourself tomorrow morning with all the crap that you could do tonight. I'm talking 5 lousy minutes. And you want to know why I love cleaning up the mess at night? Let me tell you why. Because you're freaking tired. So you don't have to be a perfectionist. Good is good enough. Just get it done. And the other reason why I love this is because when you wake up in the morning and you see an empty sink and clear counters and no piles, you know what you're going to say? Thank you. Thank you. Because I don't have to do it right now. I want you to stop and think about what you're doing every evening. Is it serving you? Is it setting you up for success? Does it help you have a more relaxing evening?